For centuries, whispers of lost Amazonian empires, cities of gold, towering temples, and highways stretching beneath the canopy, haunted the edges of history, dismissed as wild fantasies or outright lies. These weren't just tall tales. They were explosive heresies that threatened the very foundations of Western academia. If the Amazon had once held vast, sophisticated civilizations, then everything we'd been taught about the primitive tropics, the untouched wilderness, and the superiority of old-world societies was a lie. The establishment fought back, hard. Chroniclers were branded as frauds, conquistadors as madmen, and indigenous accounts as myth. The idea that a sprawling, advanced civilization could vanish beneath the trees was too dangerous, too revolutionary. It undermined Eurocentric narratives of progress, the myth of empty lands used to justify colonialism, and the dogma that only Eurasia could birth real civilizations. Yet the stories refused to die. They slipped into forbidden books, fueled Victorian-era expeditions, and became the ultimate conspiracy theory, a secret history of the Americas, hidden by academia. Treasure hunters, mystics, and rogue researchers kept the legends alive, spinning tales of El Dorado, the Amazonian Atlantis, and a lost superculture that rivaled Egypt. Forbidden knowledge leaked into pop culture, inspiring everything from Indiana Jones to wild internet lore. And now, science has finally proven the conspiracists right. Because now, in the last few years, everything has changed. LiDAR scans have revealed giant gridded megacities hidden for centuries, with archaeology finds of confirming remains and soil tests that show continent-scale terraforming. Archaeologists now admit the Amazon was once home to millions, with urban planning, monumental architecture, and agricultural systems more advanced than medieval Europe. This isn't just a revision of history, it's a full-scale rewriting of human civilization's story. The implications are earth-shaking. And now, by combining the new science with early Spanish accounts, we are finally discovering just how advanced and sophisticated the Amazonian civilizations were. Because after centuries of mystery and speculation, we are learning how the ancient Amazonian peoples were able to sustain such large populations, and how millions of people survived in an area we had always been told was infertile and too hostile. In fact, the fascinating answers to these questions also offer a new hope for the future of the whole planet. At its peak, the Amazon may have supported 10 million people, rivaling the populations of Ming China or Renaissance Europe. Ancient Amazonian cities were interconnected across thousands of miles, with agricultural systems so advanced they sustained urban centers without soil depletion. Unlike the pyramids of Egypt or the aqueducts of Rome, these civilizations worked with the jungle, engineering ecosystems that thrived for millennia. But how did they sustain such large populations? How could millions of people survive in an area we had always been told was infertile and too hostile? For hundreds of years, a consensus of academic opinion declared the Amazon to be uninhabitable and infertile. Between 1540 and 1700, at least 23 documented Spanish expeditions sailed the Amazon's length, recording sophisticated civilizations. However, they were systematically doubted and ridiculed until 21st century LiDAR scans, satellite imagery, archaeological finds, and soil studies would confirm everything they saw. Some of the most controversial accounts from these expeditions, that were dismissed for centuries, described an incredible variety of advanced farming systems at scales unseen anywhere else in history. Advanced farming systems that could change everything if they were applied today. In 1542, Friar Gaspar de Carvajal recorded this account in Omagua province. Their fields stretched further than the eye could see. Not wild forest, but orderly plantations of maize, yucca, and strange fruits we did not know. They grew palms in perfect rows, and upon the riverbanks had floating gardens of reeds where vegetables grew in the mud. Most marvelous were their storehouses, great round buildings raised on stilts, overflowing with grains, smoked meats, and woven baskets of potatoes. And modern correlations have backed this up. LIDAR scans have revealed grid-patterned agroforestry systems near the Tapajos River. Floating chinampas, similar to Aztec systems, have been found in Amazonian wetlands and post holes of elevated storage structures at the Hatahara archaeological site. In 1690, Jesuit Father Samuel Fritz in the Upper Amazon recorded that they keep orchards of 100 fruit trees, cashew, peach palm, cocoa, all arranged as carefully as a Spanish vineyard. Beneath these, they plant spices and medicinal herbs. The women tend smoking racks where fish dry by the thousands and the smoke keeps insects from the crops. Modern correlations for this have shown that agroforestry systems with 200-plus cultivated species are still used by Kayapau people. Fossilized fish bones found in Terra suggest protein preservation methods, and pollen records show deliberate enrichment of useful tree species. In the Ucayali Basin in 1651, Friar Laureano de la Cruz wrote of the use of nutrient-fixing Inga trees which still dominate Amazonian agroforestry today. They plant trees that feed the earth instead of stealing from it, Inga beans that sweeten the soil, palms that shelter young plants. Their gardens need no plow, for the roots keep the earth soft. When a field tires, they burn it gently and plant different crops, so the land is never left bare. There is also modern correlation for this from findings of micro-charcoal layers that show controlled low-temperature burns were used, and phytolith evidence of sequential crop rotations from maize and beans to palms, for example. In the lower Amazon in 1560, Captain Alvarado wrote that the riverbanks were quilted with raised fields, mounds of earth knee-high and twice as wide, each planted with different crops. Canals between them swarmed with turtles and fish. When the floods came, these fields alone stood above the waters, while the channels became fish traps. Only recently, raised field complexes covering over 100,000 acres have been discovered in Bolivia's Llanos de Mojos, and fish weir technology verified by stone alignments at the Asutuba site with soil chemistry shows deliberate nutrient cycling between canals and fields. Father Samuel Fritz also recorded in that their settlements resemble islands in a sea of cultivation. The houses cluster on small hillocks, while all about stretch-flooded fields crossed by dikes just wide enough for a man to walk. Women go daily to check fish traps set among the crops, returning with both dinner and fertilizer for their gardens. This has been corroborated by settlement patterns at the Calusa site that shows 85% of structures being within 10 m of canals with fish vertebrae found in the household garden soils.